The desert stretched endlessly under the white blaze of the sun. Heat shimmered like ghosts on the dunes, and Raffi stumbled through them. Lips cracked, throat raw as sandpaper. His water pouch had been empty for 2 days, and every breath tasted like dust. Once he had dreamed of crossing the Harkoon desert to find the lost city of mirrors, an ancient ruin said to reflect the past, present, and future of any soul who dared to reach it. Now all he could think about was survival. His boots dragged through the sand until he collapsed beside a half-buried rock. The wind whispered across the dunes, cruel and mocking. As he turned his head weakly, something gleamed faintly from beneath the sand. With trembling fingers, Raffi clawed at it. What emerged was strange. An ancient drinking horn, carved from ivory, glistening with faint symbols that pulsed like veins of gold. He stared at it in disbelief. The horn was cool to the touch, impossibly cold in the infernal heat. It smelled faintly of rain. Thirst consumed him. Logic fled. He raised it to his lips, hoping for the impossible. Liquid poured forth. Clear, cold, divine. It slid down his throat, reviving him instantly. The pain faded. His breath steadied. The desert no longer seemed to burn. He laughed shakily, tears of relief streaking down his dusty cheeks. But then the air changed. A shadow crept across the sand, though there was no cloud in the sky. The ground hummed faintly beneath him, and from the horn a whisper slithered into his ears, low, ancient, and filled with fury. "You took what was mine," it hissed. "You drank my 50 years of life." Raffi froze, the horn slipping slightly in his grasp. His pulse thundered. "Who's there?" he rasped. But there was only the echo of the desert wind, and the faint, haunting sound of laughter beneath it. The thirst had been quenched, but the debt had just begun to bleed. Raffi staggered to his feet, clutching the horn. The voice seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere. "Show yourself!" he shouted, his voice trembling with anger and fear. But the only answer was a cold breeze that should not have existed under the desert sun. He turned the horn over, inspecting it. The carving seemed different now, symbols twisting like living things. At the rim, a faint face seemed to appear, hollow eyes, a mouth open in eternal scream. Raffi dropped it in horror, but it didn't fall. It floated, hovering above the sand like it defied gravity. Then it spoke again. "You drank the years I saved." Half a century of breath, stolen in one sip. Raffi's mind reeled. "It was just water," he cried. "Not water," the voice hissed. "Life mine." Before he could react, the horn began to pulse with light. His skin tingled. He looked at his hands and gasped. The cuts on his palms were gone. His skin looked smoother, younger. His bones no longer ached. Somehow, impossibly, he felt stronger. "Why would I give this back?" he murmured, a strange hunger forming inside him. The horn seemed to sense his greed. "Because every drop you took binds you to me. My time flows through your veins now." The wind picked up, whirling the sand into spirals around him. Out of it, a form began to take shape, a woman in tattered robes, her hair like smoke, her eyes glowing blue. "Return what you stole, mortal," she commanded, her voice trembling with rage and sorrow. Raffi backed away. "I didn't mean to—" "Intent does not cleanse the debt," she said, stepping closer. The dunes around them shimmered like glass, bending light. "You walk now with my years. If you keep them, I fade." Raffi's heart pounded. She extended her hand. "Give it back, or both of us shall perish." He had escaped death once, but now death wanted him to return the favor. Raffi hesitated. The woman's form flickered in the heat. Her voice filled with the weight of centuries. "Who are you?" he asked. She regarded him with hollow eyes. "Once I was keeper of the horn, a guardian of time's gift. The horn was my prison and my purpose. You have broken the balance." Raffi looked down at the horn, still floating, glowing faintly like a heart. "If I give it back, will I die?" "Yes," she whispered. "As you should have when thirst found you." A bitter laugh escaped him. "Then no, I'll keep it." The air crackled. Her form grew darker, voice sharper. "Then the sands will devour you as they did all who defied the horn." The dunes began to shift, forming faces, dozens of them, men and women screaming silently. Beneath the surface, each seemed to claw upward, desperate to escape. "They too drank," she said. "They too refused." Now they serve the desert's hunger. Raffi stumbled backward, horrified. No, I won't end up like them. Then return what you took. He clenched his jaw, torn between fear and greed. The power in his veins was undeniable. He could feel his heart beating stronger, his senses sharper. The desert no longer burned him. It bowed to him. You wasted your years trapped here, he spat. Maybe they'll mean something in me. Her scream shook the dunes. The horn flared, burning his palm. The symbols seared into his skin like molten fire. Then carry the curse, she hissed. Let your stolen years rot from the inside. Raffi fell to his knees, clutching his chest as pain ripped through him. The world blurred. When he looked up, the woman was gone. Only the horn remained, half buried in the sand, whispering faintly. He thought he'd won immortality, but the desert had only granted him its hunger. Days or weeks passed. Raffi could no longer tell. He wandered the dunes unburned by the sun, untouched by thirst. Yet something was wrong, his reflection in the fragments of glass scattered across the desert was changing. His hair grew darker, then gray, then black again, cycling endlessly. His eyes glowed faintly with the same blue as the woman's. He didn't sleep anymore. Didn't need to. But every time the wind blew, he heard whispers, voices of the lost souls who had drunk from the horn before him. You took my years. Give them back. Join us beneath the sand. He tried to bury the horn once. The moment he covered it, the dunes split open, revealing writhing faces again. The horn refused to be buried. It followed him wherever he went, floating just behind him like a loyal curse. Eventually, Raffi reached the ruins he had once sought, the City of Mirrors. Its towers were broken, its streets silent, but every surface reflected 1,000 versions of him, young, old, decayed, radiant. In one reflection, he saw the woman standing beside him, her hand on his shoulder. Look, she whispered. See what 50 stolen years become. His reflection suddenly aged before his eyes, skin sagging, eyes hollow. No! He shouted, shattering the mirror with a stone. But the image didn't fade. It bled into the air, his reflection crawling out, gasping. You can't escape time, it croaked. Raffi backed away, horrified. What are you? I'm you, the reflection said. 50 years ahead. And then it lunged. The thief met his future, and it wanted its time back. Raffi fought the reflection, each blow echoing like thunder through the empty city. But every strike only made his double stronger. The more he resisted, the weaker he became. The horn hovered between them, glowing fiercely, as though waiting to choose its next bearer. His reflection pinned him to the ground, eyes burning with fury and pity. Give it back, it whispered. Or you'll live forever wishing you had. Raffi's strength waned. The woman's voice returned. Carried by the wind, there is no victory in stealing time, only endless thirst. He looked at the horn, so beautiful, so powerful, and for the first time, saw it for what it was, a trap. Every sip fed the desert, not the soul. With a final cry, he seized the horn and poured its contents into the sand. The earth drank greedily. Light burst across the dunes, and the woman's laughter, soft, relieved, echoed as her spirit rose into the sky. The reflection faded. The city crumbled into dust. Raffi felt his body weakening. Aging all at once, his stolen years rushing back to where they belonged. As he collapsed, the horn lay beside him, lifeless. Yet, in its hollow depths, something shimmered, a drop of pure water, waiting for the next desperate traveler. Raffi smiled faintly through cracked lips. Maybe that's the curse, he whispered. Someone always thirsty enough to take it. The wind carried his words away, burying him gently beneath the sand. The desert was silent again. But if you listened closely, you could still hear it, a faint whisper rising from the dunes. You took my 50 years of life. The desert never kills. It only lends time to the thirsty.